Hey, listen, FreeFM 89.0. This is Grady Hooker, and live on Skype we got Josh. So this past Raw was the Slimy Awards Raw, and we'll just go through all the winners. We did a whole video on our opinions, which you can find on our Facebook and Twitter and stuff. But for Match of the Year, it went to Undertaker and Brock Lesnar.
Somebody had to win it.
Fair enough. The match itself, it was a good match. Like, pretty much, I was happy with most of them on that list. There was a couple that were a little iffy, but it was up there. The This Is Awesome moment went to Rock and Rousey, which you weren't too supportive of before the awards.
No.
But, you know, star power / everybody loves The Rock except for you. With Diva of the Year, they copied Miss Universe a little bit.
Yep, they something big happens, you can bet WWE will parody it.
Fair enough. And the best part about it was that you'd believe that Paige wins. And it wasn't a surprise that Paige had won. It was actually a surprise to me that people agreed with us and voted Nikki as the winner.
Yeah.
That was a bigger surprise than the Paige swerve. Surprise return of the year went to Sting.
Ooh, that wasn't a surprise.
The hero in all of us, we finally got clarification on what it was going to be, and it went to John Cena.
Yeah. Everybody was like, Titus better win. I'm like, Titus is getting sniped by John Cena his 500 wishes.
Yeah.
That was obvious.
Yeah, Cena was probably quite an obvious pick for this. Not just because he's John Cena, but because he's the name that everybody hears when it comes to doing good things. It is always John Cena did another wish, or John Cena went and did this. The OMG shocking moment of the year went to Kalisto's Salida del Sol.
Rightly so.
Quite happy with that. The LOL moment went to R-Truth thinking he was in Money in the Bank.
And Vegeta tried to steal a Slammy.
Yeah.
Which made me wonder why they were never formed as a tag team.
That'd have been great. Pre-Santino's retirement. Rivalry of the year went to The Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. Seems to be a theme.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Something I wasn't too fine with, or wasn't too happy with, was Best Original WWE Network show went to the Stone Cold podcast.
Well, it's Stone Cold Steve Austin. What can you do?
You make a fair point. A fair point. But there were much more
they're not
deserving
better
shows.
than the ones we picked for the award, but when you allow the fans to vote, this is what you get.
Fans will vote. Double Cross of the Year went to Damien Mizdow.
I'm fine with that.
Extreme Moment of the Year went to Roman Reigns attacking the League of Nations and Triple H.
Oh, yeah.
Best John Cena US Open Challenge went to Cesaro.
Another booyah.
Just getting booyahs left, right. You ready for another booyah? Hashtag of the year went to hashtag Suplex City.
Hey, you're right.
Celebrity moment, Stephen Amell.
Thank you. Yay.
And
I think it's because that one actually involved the ring. Getting in the ring.
Yeah, probably. The Tell Me You Did Not Just Say That went to Brock Lesnar coining Suplex City.
As we thought.
Now we go back to ones that didn't come out as we thought. WWE Tag Team of the Year went to the men who were injured for half of it.
Yeah. Don't understand that one.
It seemed as though the New Day were going to get it, to me at least, in terms of it seems as though people love to hate them. But somehow, some way, the Usos came out on top.
Let's revisit my statement from a couple of categories ago.
Yeah.
When you allow fans to vote, this is the kind of thing that happens.
Yep. See if I can find the other one. I left some off. I think it was 2 on this page. Oh, yeah. So, Superstar of the Year went to Seth.
Perfectly understandable. You
And
picked him, I picked Roman. I said Seth is the only guy that I would accept it over Roman. So,
I was happy with
Perfectly
Roman over
fine.
Seth. I think, and Seth coming out, it definitely seemed as though he was pushing for a face return almost. I'm pretty sure that was the plan before he got injured, or the long plan. And, you know, as he said, it does suck to see all of his accomplishments in his entire year taken away by one missed landing. And now in what I would like to give the LOL moment of the year, Slammy 2, giving Neville the breakout star of the year, Slammy.
yeah, I that one surprised me.
It surprised Neville.
Yeah. I think it surprised everybody because I think everybody was expecting Kevin Owens to win it.
Backstage,
And then the
yes.
fans picked Neville for some reason.
You could tell that whole segment was scripted for Owens to win. It was meant to be Owens coming out, getting his award, dissing on Ziggler, brawl, fight later in the night. And instead they had to let Neville go out, Neville do a really small, unprepared speech, and then Owens come out and tell him to bugger off. So they could keep the thing going. Owens' thing was like he won. I feel like everybody expected Owens.
Yeah. That one, I think, was legitimate. Some of the other ones we can question. I think that one was literally legitimate. And because just the way it came off.
Mm.
Nobody expected it. Not even Neville himself.
I feel like as a rib on Neville, they just wouldn't have told him he won it. And they just have everybody standing in gorilla. But yeah, the Slammies are what they are. You let the fans vote for every single award, so there was always the variation. You were going to get the Usos, the Nevilles, and the Stone Cold podcast just because he's more popular. Everything was going to go that way. It was pretty much unavoidable. I'm just glad they didn't vote like Damien Sandow as Superstar of the Year. That's all I cared about.
Yeah. How sad is this? Sandow won an award, still can't get TV time.
Nope. So, if you're in New Zealand and you're listening to this live, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas Eve to Americans, I think. But you'll probably watch this later on. So, like, Merry Boxing Day or New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, all that sort of stuff. But it's an excuse to play holiday songs sung horribly by WWE superstars again. So, I think this is 2012's holiday song. And you're back with Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady and Josh. So, believe it or not, there was other content on Raw, other than awards. Shocking. But Roman Reigns opened the show, and the crowd are behind him, Josh. They're behind him.
Woo! It's been a roller coaster ride, but we finally got there.
They did it. Just got to give them a little bit of a clap there.
Yeah, I loved when Steph was telling him to get out of the ring, and he just kept saying, "The crowd, they don't want me to." Mm. And Steph just devolved into like a 3-year-old. And then when he did get out of the ring, she wanted him back in it.
It was a funny segment, and as we know, Reigns hasn't been historically the most over, and somehow beating the hell out of the COO and punching a 70-year-old boss in the face is what got him there. Who'd have thunk it? But he's there now.
They finally figured out what Roman is and is playing to that string.
Yeah. And as I think I said, is people keep bashing on his mic skills. He may not be the best if you shove him in there with a microphone and a script and say go, but in this segment where he was bouncing off Stephanie, it was hilarious to me.
Yeah, I think it really does break down to you need to let him be himself. Because he's a lot more charismatic than you would have thought a year ago.
Yeah.
And by the way, 2014 Slammy Award for Superstar of the Year, Roman Reigns. 2015, Seth Rollins. Guess that means 2016 will be Dean Ambrose.
Good luck with that. It'll probably be Roman, to be honest. But since Roman Reigns disrespected Stephanie so badly, she decided to book his cousins and his brother into horrible, horrible matches.
Matches they still won, by the way.
Yeah.
But Neville, Swagger, and the Usos got beatdowns. So I'm not that sure it was that much of a victory for them.
No. But you see the 8-man tag ahead of you.
Yeah. We'll have to see if they do that next week or not. They're definitely not going to do it on Super Smackdown Live tonight before this tapes.
Yeah. Something that I thought was good with that beatdown is that you can directly match across. So, you got like the Usos are a tag team, and then you pair them across with the League of Nations, and then Alberto was dealing with Swagger. I'd like to think that leaves Neville pairing with Sheamus. But it's good to see at least him getting featured, even if it is just in an 8-man against the League of Nations. But they're bouncing back quite fast for someone who just lost the WWE title.
Yeah, the question is will Barrett be involved?
Well, he was there.
He's part of the beatdowns, but he hasn't wrestled in like a month.
Yeah. Well, some said he was injured. He said he wasn't. Some said he was taking time off. He's back. Who knows? Honestly, I'd like to see Barrett there. I'd like to see him in the match. I like Barrett as a talent, but as we said, he's a little injury prone. But
unfortunately, Mr. Glass.
Yeah, it is what it is. We'll see if he's in it, and we'll see if he's competing, see if he's back to normal or not. Talking about people being back to normal, they announced John Cena's return.
Yeah. He's going to be facing Alberto Del Rio on next week's Raw.
They just couldn't bring him back for the Slammies. They had to bring him back the week after.
Yep, he couldn't even accept the award he won.
And Nikki got to accept her award. But John Cena's just a little busy right now. He's on, 50,000 red carpets at this point?
I think he's still finishing up the filming for that reality show he's doing.
Yeah. I just recently saw him on, The Sisters red carpet as well. Across from a couple of female comedians. He's a big tattooed drug dealer. Good job, John Cena. But, as we said, the Usos got put in a match with the New Day, and Dean Ambrose got put in a steel cage.
Yeah, it was an interesting match. I'm glad the Intercontinental Champion didn't lose. Yeah. That's a step up for the Intercontinental Championship.
It's always good when the champion does not lose on a show, whether it be the Intercontinental, the US, the WWE, And we got to see Roman Reigns throw the perfect chair into the steel cage.
Yeah, it did. I really do. I liked how they kept Reigns going strong here, but also didn't hurt Ambrose in the process.
Not hurting Ambrose is a rare situation nowadays.
Yeah, especially with him having to face Ziggler and Owens on Smackdown for his title, and we don't know if he'll still be the Intercontinental champion by the time this airs.
Good point. Let's just pretend he is. Yay, he retained his title.
Or boo, he didn't retain his title.
Yeah, we'll cut it out and edit one of them in. It's Christmas. No one's going to stay around to edit. But yeah, I'm hoping he does. He is staying strong enough that he can be. But you've still got Owens and Ziggler. I don't see Ziggler being too much of a competition for the title. I think it will be Owens, if anybody, who will get that title.
Yeah. And I'm just glad to see the two big titles in the possession of faces right now, because that's kind of a rare thing for the WrestleMania era. Road to WrestleMania is for the faces to control the championships.
But the road to WrestleMania doesn't start till the Royal Rumble.
For me, it starts the night after TLC.
Okay.
Because you have the build up to the Royal Rumble.
True. Okay, well, it's time for our next holiday song. Everybody loves these. It's 2014's holiday song.
It's the most shining, even bad news is smiling. The holidays are here.
And you're back with Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady and Josh. As a special Christmas treat, we're going to finally remember to talk about an NXT takeover. This week it's NXT Takeover London. The opening match was Emma versus Asuka, and surprisingly good match.
Yeah, reminded me of why I liked Emma in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Emma's good. Asuka is interesting. Very interesting. And I added her to the list that would be okay to take the title from Bayley.
Yes.
It's a very short list, though.
Is it just Asuka?
No, it includes Asuka, Carmella, and Emma.
Okay. Yeah, I'd definitely say that's probably about the list. To me, Asuka is very unique and very different, and just has that different style that really resonates with everybody. And she's slightly crazy. The next match, Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson successfully defended their tag titles, something a lot of people had written them out of doing.
I didn't. I did.
Yeah, you picked every single match right, okay? Let's just get that out in the open now.
Yes, I went 5-0.
But a lot of people had picked Enzo and Cass to take the titles here.
I knew it was not time for Dash and Dawson to lose. And with Enzo and Big Cass primed to be called up anyway, they can be called up at any time.
Yeah. But see, call them up, but let them have the tag title down here first. Gotta give them that little bit. Yeah. It was a good match, though. I was definitely surprised with Scott Dawson, Dash Wilder, those guys. They're relatively new to me. They've been champions and they've had their matches, but the mechanics are still, as a team, fairly new to me compared to Enzo and Cass, who have been here since, day one.
Which they did mention on the telecast.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just felt more like Dash and Dawson needed the win.
Fair enough.
And that could be Enzo and Big Cass's last hurrah and allow them to put over the new face of the tag team division for NXT.
Yeah. Then the next match, we got Baron Corbin versus Apollo Crews. And again, a lot of people picked Crews.
I have not seen this match.
But
when I picked this match, though, I picked it based on who I thought would face the NXT champion.
Fair enough.
Because I figured this is a de facto number one contendership match. And whoever wins this match would determine who would win the NXT championship match. And when I picked Finn Balor to win the NXT Championship match, that automatically went with Baron Corbin to win this match.
Well, you were right, because Baron Corbin went on, I think, WWE.com afterwards and announced that he is declaring himself the number one contender.
But yeah, I said that was basically a de facto number one contender match without actually being called it.
Yeah. It was a great match. I'm really growing on... Apollo Crews is growing on me. So's Baron, to be honest. Baron came out and he was generally pretty flat in his squash matches and stuff. But now that they're allowing him to be himself, and I think truly that Breaking Ground is really helping Corbin out in my eyes, just because I'm getting to see Corbin, and getting to see more of him, and figuring him out. And Cruz can do a backflip.
Yeah, and you realize Baron Corbin really is a prick in real life.
Yeah. Except when it comes to Tino Savatelli or Scott Hall. That's a this week's episode hint.
I haven't watched this week's episode yet. The new one.
Baron Corbin's a little nicer in this week's episode. And it does feature Nia Jax, who got her NXT Women's title shot.
At the end of the match, I said, with a little more seasoning, I could see Nia Jax as an NXT Women's Champion.
Yep.
I was very impressed by her. Bayley is Bayley. Hey. We know what we're going to get, which is greatness.
Yeah, Bayley is Bayley. She just puts on good matches, even if she is essentially getting demolished by Nia. She still manages to come out on top and put on the good match.
Apparently she's invisible to her fans, though, because they keep chanting for her while she's in the ring.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
I will never understand that.
The London crowd is very boisterous, I think is the word
It's
to
not
use.
just the London crowd. The NXT
True.
universe crowd does it. Now, on Raw last night, during the Divas match, when they were chanting it, that made sense. Because Bayley's not there yet.
True.
But Bayley's standing in the ring wrestling, and you're chanting, "We want some Bayley." You can't get any more Bayley than that.
But what if she split in two and there were two Baileys? We'll go to the main event. Finn Balor versus a lesser opponent.
Samoa Joe. This was a great match. It's a great match.
I liked Finn's entrance.
Yep, Finn the Ripper.
I like how it tied into the advertisements for the show, and then the match was great, and the right outcome happened.
Even though most people expected Joe to pick up the title.
Yeah. Basically, if you took what most people thought, and then you picked the opposite, you would have got like 3 out of 5.
And I got 5 out of 5.
I will turn off this call if you say that one more time. But yeah, I think 4 people walked into that show with undefeated streaks, and 1 walked out with them. And that was the stat everybody was mentioning. That could be entirely wrong.
I called this match for this special 6 months ago.
Yeah.
I'm calling the next Takeover event Baron Corbin versus Finn Balor.
You heard it here
And I'm
first.
going to up my own prediction. I predict Baron Corbin will win the NXT Championship.
Oh my god. And on that bombshell, it's been great talking to you.
Bye-bye.
You can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wrestling Roundup Radio, or Twitter page, twitter.com/Wrestling Radio, and have a great holidays.